The wind pushed dust through the streets of Red Hollow as if the town itself was trying to warn anyone who dared to stay. Windows rattled, loose signs creaked, and the saloon doors slapped open and shut like restless hands. Most folks had already gone inside, but a small crowd had formed outside the old blacksmith shop, drawn by something they couldn't explain. Inside stood Caleb Rourke, the rancher everyone knew was calm, steady, and hard to scare. He had crossed deserts, survived gunfights, and buried more friends than he liked to remember. But now, he stood frozen, staring at a young woman sitting on a wooden crate in front of him. Her name was Eliza. She was pale, shaking, and clutching a thick cloth wrapped tightly around her left arm. The fabric was darkened, not with blood, but with something stranger, an oily black stain that slowly spread no matter how tight the wrapping was. "Don't take it off," she whispered, her voice barely louder than the wind outside. "Just do it." Caleb frowned. "Do what?" "Finish what you started," she said. "End this before it ends all of you." He knelt in front of her, eyes locked on the cloth. "Eliza, you came all the way out to my ranch, bleeding and half dead. I ain't doing a thing until I know what I'm dealing with." Her lips trembled. "If you see it, you won't be able to unsee it." That was the moment the door creaked open behind him. Sheriff Miller stepped in, hat low, eyes sharp. "Town's buzzing, Rourke. Folks say you got trouble in here." Caleb didn't look back. "You might say that." Eliza suddenly grabbed Caleb's sleeve. Her grip was weak but desperate. "Please, you promised." Caleb swallowed. He had found her collapsed near his barn the night before. She had said only one thing before passing out: "They put it in me." Nothing more. Now she was awake, and whatever was under that cloth was getting worse. "Don't take it off," she whispered again. "Just do it." Caleb took a slow breath and carefully untied the knot holding the cloth in place. The moment the fabric came loose, a wave of cold swept through the room. Even Sheriff Miller felt it. The blacksmith's forge went dark, the lantern flickered, and the air grew heavy like a coming storm. What lay beneath made Caleb freeze. Eliza's arm was marked with strange black symbols, carved into her skin like they had been burned from the inside out. They twisted and moved slightly, as if alive, pulsing with a dim, sickly glow. Sheriff Miller stepped back. "What in God's name is that?" Eliza closed her eyes. "That is a death mark." Caleb stared, unable to move. "Who did this to you?" "A group calling themselves the Hollow Men," she said. "They believe the land is cursed. They think if they mark a living soul and bury them alive, it will wake whatever sleeps beneath Red Hollow." Miller shook his head. "That's madness. They already did it once," Eliza whispered. "That's why the river dried. That's why the cattle keep dying. I escaped before they finished." Caleb finally found his voice. "So why come to me?" "Because you're the only one who can stop them," she said. "Your land sits right above the old mine. That's where they're going to do it." A shout echoed from outside. "Sheriff, they're riding in." Caleb rushed to the door and saw dark figures on horseback pouring into town, faces hidden by cloth, rifles in hand. The Hollow Men had come for Eliza. Miller drew his gun. "Get her out back. I'll slow them down." Caleb lifted Eliza into his arms. She was lighter than she should have been, as if whatever was in her was already stealing her strength. He carried her through the back door into the alley, then toward his waiting horse. Gunshots cracked behind them. "They won't stop," Eliza murmured. "Not until I'm in the ground." Caleb set her on the horse and climbed up behind her. "Then we make sure that never happens." They rode hard toward his ranch, dust flying behind them. The Hollow Men followed, their dark shapes stretching across the plains like shadows chasing the sun. By the time they reached the old mine, the sky was turning red with sunset. Caleb helped Eliza down and led her toward the entrance. "This is where it ends," she said. Before Caleb could answer, a voice called out, "You're too late." A tall figure stepped from the shadows. His eyes were hollow, his smile empty. "The mark is already active," he said. "She belongs to the land now." Caleb stepped in front of Eliza. "Over my dead body." The man laughed. "That can be arranged." But something unexpected happened. The symbols on Eliza's arm began to glow brighter. The ground trembled. A low rumble echoed from deep inside the mine. Eliza cried out, falling to her knees. "It's waking up." Caleb grabbed her. Tell me how to stop it. There's only one way, she gasped. The mark must be destroyed, before it fully binds me. How? You have to cut it out. Caleb's heart slammed in his chest. That could kill you. If you don't, she said, meeting his eyes, everyone dies. The hollow men began closing in. Caleb pulled out his knife, his hands shaking. Don't take it off. Just do it, Eliza whispered one last time. He didn't hesitate again. As the knife touched her skin, the mark let out a sound that wasn't human. The ground shook violently, and the hollow men screamed as cracks split open beneath their feet. With one final, desperate move, Caleb carved the mark free. A blinding light burst from Eliza's arm, then vanished. The ground went still. The hollow men collapsed, unconscious, their dark power gone. Eliza slumped into Caleb's arms, breathing but alive. He held her as the dust settled, knowing Red Hollow had been saved, not by guns or greed, but by courage in the face of something far worse. And for the first time in a long while, the town was quiet again.